Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is creating a swimmable volume for Unreal Engine 4. We're not going to have a animation for it, but that's okay. We're going to use the default run animation and we're going to make it work for us, okay? So what we have to do is we have to create what's called a physics volume. So to do that, I'm going to go to volumes and then physics volume, drag it out, and go ahead and make it as big as the swimmable area I need it to be. So like that looks good. So we're going to be able to swim real high. So obviously you'd want to put this in with your depth of field, with your fog, with all of that stuff so it looks very convincing. So once we do that, there's a couple of options we have to change. For one thing, with this selected, I'm going to make this a water volume. So I'm going to check water volume. Okay? So that makes it a water volume, and we can actually go ahead and treat it as water, as such. Okay, so now we need to edit our character blueprint. So we have a couple things. So content, third-person BP, blueprints, third-person character. Or if you're using first-person character, that's fine too. Let me bring it over. Okay. So I've already made the change that I want, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that real fast. That way we can do it together. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to go to character movement. I should be able to scroll down until you see character movement swimming. So do you want them to be positively buoyant or negatively buoyant? So this is the control for that. I made it 1.1, so the character's slightly buoyant in this. And then that's all you're going to do in the character blueprint for now. Save that. Then you go to your settings and your project settings. And we're going to make a couple of changes here. You're going to go to Input under Engine. You're going to go to Axis Mapping. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete my swim up that I made. Okay. So now what we're going to do is under Axis Mapping, so Input, Axis Mapping, we're going to add Axis Mapping. Now we're just going to call this Swim. You can call it Swim Up, Swim Down, whatever. We're going to tie up and down to one action. So Swim, and I'm going to give it the X key, so like X, and that's going to be number 1, so that's positive. I'm going to add, do Z, and I'm going to do -1. All right, so there we go. So 1 will take me up, Z will take me down. Let's go ahead and close that. So now once I'm in my character blueprint, right, so I'm in my movement input, what we have to do is reference that swim command. So I'm going to right click, type swim, and then it's an axis event, so swim. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add what's called a movement input. So we're going to pull off of this, we're going to type add movement, and we'll get add movement input. And we would like it to be a +1. So the world direction is Z is up. Okay, so that's all we're setting there. And then we're going to do axis value of that. So whenever we do a value of 1 or -1, it applies it to Z, right? So we go up or down. Pretty simple. We can compile, save, minimize, play. I still have my video set up, so right after this. There we go. So now if I come into the volume, so I'm in the volume now, and I am buoyant, right? So if I hit Z, I'll swim down, X, I'll swim up, and there you go. So now we're swimming. Well, we're technically running underwater, but it will work for what we need. All right, pretty simple. And this will also work on the first-person character mesh. You can do either one.